just got the first copy of my book, Prior to Entry, and posted by Legal Immigration Services. Hi, how are you? It's Brett Miller here from
Fantastic service. Fantastic. Always recommend me. Always recommend.
Hi, everyone. It's Brandon Miller here from Second Passport. I'm really happy because today we've got Marc Belaiche here from TorontoJobs.ca. Marc has been in the recruitment and basically job finding and I don't know if I can say that, Marc, but the job placement industry for a while. But anyways, why don't I just turn it over to Marc and let him introduce himself, because I'm sure he can do a better job than I just did.
Sounds great. Well, thanks, Brandon, for the invite. My background, I've been in the recruiting industry for this is my 26th year now, and I've seen so many different things over the years, of course. But my primary area of responsibility is helping companies find staff and helping people find jobs as well. So I work with clients trying to understand their staffing needs, and then I work with job seekers and understand what their needs are and try to come up with the right match.
Awesome. So you're a matchmaker.
Matchmaker, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the top 5 employment tips when you arrive in Canada. Now, I've already done another video with Marc, which is before you arrive, because again, what we like to do and what you'll hear me promote is planning. And again, I always like to throw this up: planning, implementation, settlement. Settlement's really important. And again, this is why we're talking about jobs, because if you're going to come to Canada, you need to actually do something when you get here. And most of us can't actually retire independently wealthy, so we're going to need a job. So previously we talked about things that you can do to prepare. Now we're going to talk about what you can do when you're actually on the ground in Canada and on your way to your second passport and ready to go as a permanent resident. So Marc, you good? Let's dive into number 1. So make connections. What do we do there, Marc?
Okay, so you've landed, you're thinking about everything else that you've got to do, driver's license and so on and so forth. But when it comes to job search, you want to connect with as many people as possible. And really, not just sending out LinkedIn invites and saying, hey, I'm connected with more and more people, and I've got 250, 500, 1,000 people or whatever, but really making good connections, really good relationships. And by some of the tips, things that you can do is sending messages to people about things that have happened in their industry, or if their company is in the news, and share the link to them as well. So networking is really about giving. And at some point, you want to share that you are looking for an opportunity and for someone to get that. The hidden job market, which is 85% or more of jobs, are found that are never advertised. So typically in pre-pandemic stage, 80% of jobs are never advertised. So that's the hidden job market. In a pandemic or in tough times when there's a credit crisis like there was in 2008, 2009, the importance of networking is even more so important. It could account for 90 or 95% of jobs through that hidden job market. So really, really, really build your network. Really important.
You know what? It's funny. You just brought me back to being a teenager, because you say about that with the hidden job market. A lot of my jobs, and one job that I really enjoyed, I worked at the airport when I was like 19, and I was like putting the gas in the planes, and I was this guy, right? And I literally was sitting there looking for a summer job, and I was like, there's the airport, and maybe I'll go apply there. And I literally walked in, and I was like, hey, I got a resume. Anybody want to hire me? And there was a guy that overheard it, and he ran the ramp, and he said, you know what? I just let somebody go today. He's like, let me see your resume. And we sat down, he was having a coffee, and he's like, oh, you were in Boy Scouts. And I was like, yeah. He's like, I was in Boy Scouts. He's like, great. Want a job? And then I was meeting my dad, right? I'm like, he's like, how's your job search going? I'm like, I got a job, man. It was great. So it's funny that you say that, because a lot of the jobs they're out there, and it's just, right place, right time too, right? But you're not going to know that if you don't make the connections, no?
That's right. As a recruiter, I mean, I learned my lesson the hard way over many times, but companies would come to us and say, we're looking for somebody who has these 5 skills. And I say, it's going to be really hard to find somebody that has all those 5 skills. They're pretty impossible, actually. But they say, no, we swear up and down that we need somebody with all those 5 skills. And I stay in touch with them. Weeks go by, months go by sometimes. And then eventually I circle back and they say, oh, we finally filled the position. I'm like, really? Okay. Can you tell me who it is? Or so I can look it up to see if I had them on our database. Well, I'll look them up and I'll say, that person didn't have all 5 of those skills. Like they had maybe 3. And they say, well, it was so-and-so's friend who's a relative to this person, and they passed their friend's name on, and boom, all of a sudden, all those requirements, those 5 requirements were out the window. Out the window. So you know what? That's the importance of the hidden job market, networking, and how important it can be in your job search.
Awesome. Let's move on to number 2. Tip number 2, networking. I know we all love networking, but what's a way that we can network when we're on the ground here in Canada?
Well, when we have live events, which are currently on pause, but as we have live events or as they come back, maybe hybrid events, but virtual events is the way to go. There's lots of great ways to find out what virtual and live events are, but that networking piece forms a lot of relationships and can really help somebody in their career and getting that right job. So check out websites like Eventbrite, BRITE, eventbrite.com, meetup.com, meetup.com. Facebook obviously has their groups and pages that you can network with other people in. LinkedIn has their groups as well. We have a number of virtual events as well. You can attend. There's lots of ways to connect on those at those events through our platform. It's TorontoJobs.ca/news is the link to the event. So there's lots of ways. Canada, if anything, is a great is very good in technology and the importance of networking and building. And somebody said this to me years ago, and I always remember it. Your network is your net worth, right? Meaning, it's the bigger your network is, the more valuable it is, and the more valuable it can be for your job search, for your career, and so on.
Yeah, it's not what you know, it's who you know, right? So It's true. It's true. But you know what? I think you alluded to this previously when we were speaking about LinkedIn, or you just said it actually. Sorry, what am I saying? But you were saying that, people send these connections out all the time. And I think it really boils down to, genuine connections, right? Like I get people all the time that are, hey, let's connect on LinkedIn. And, I'll connect and I'll be like, hey, so what was your interest in connecting? Nothing. I'm like, okay, well, see ya. But it's really boils down to like sincere connections. Okay, let's move on to tip number 3. Speak with recruiters. So speak with Marc. We should be speaking with
Marc. Reach out to me. Like recruiters have a pulse on what's happening in the market. They know what kind of jobs are available. They know what's in need. Sometimes, or not sometimes, but in a lot of cases, if you've just moved to Canada, recruiters may not be the best avenue, best channel to get a position, because recruiters are looking for that square to square kind of placement, a circle to circle. But the thing is, recruiters, and when I say recruiters, I mean recruiters in staffing agencies, not just recruiters at companies, although that can also fall under the same umbrella. But recruiters at staffing agencies have a really good handle on the market. What jobs are available? What are the skill requirements that companies are looking for? So these are the areas that you want to really connect with. Try to connect with recruiters who specialize in your area. And in the case of Toronto, there's 3,000 odd staffing firms around that specialize in everything from IT to security guards to accounting and so on. So find the recruiters that specialize in your area, and they'll be able to give you a better handle on what's happening in the market.
Yeah. And you know what? It's not, a lot of people have this thing where they think it's only for like high, like C-level jobs, right? But you just hit it there. Like there's recruiters that will specialize in anything. There's people that'll do like HR recruiting, and that's what they do, or the temp company jobs. Like I remember when I was helping people get settled in with jobs prior to doing immigration, I worked a lot with newcomers. And, you know, a lot of people would get into large companies through staffing, and that's actually a really good thing. A lot of people think, oh, it's a warehouse job. I'm like, no, there's account staffing. There's many different things. So I think it's important that you actually need to understand what those things are. So yeah, that's amazing. Okay, let's get on to tip number 4. So government-funded employment centers. What do you have to say about this, Mark?
Well, the government of Canada has set up a number of employment centers that are government funded. So they haven't set them up, but they fund them. And these centers have budgets, and those budgets get set based on the number of people that go through their programs. Now, some of their programs are as simple as registering with us, and we'll have sessions and seminars. Others are a little bit more intense, where they will help with resume writing and coaching and so on. So these are government funded organizations that are free to use for job seekers, whether you're new to Canada or you've been here for all your life. And so you want to use them, and you want to find out what programs that they have and take advantage of that, because they're available for you for free. So there's lots of them out there. If you want some referrals, I'm happy to share those with you. Feel free to connect with me. But you do a Google search and just search government funded job employment centers, things like that. You will find them. And there's probably one not that far from where you live.
Yeah. The only thing I wanted to add to that, because I've dealt with a number of them with newcomers, you should really shop around to those. Would you? I don't know if you'd agree with that, because
Yes.
Some of them are not as good as others, and there's some places that will design programs based around specific types of careers. And I'm not going to start name dropping some of them, but you know, they have, like, specifically, say you're an engineer, they have a program where they'll set you up with a mentorship that could lead to that. And you have to look around, because there's different programs at those. But the other thing I was going to say too is that, yeah, shop around, look at those, use them strategically. But again, you know, do your research on that stuff. So that's great.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that, Mark, or am I?
Yeah, absolutely. Ask questions, understand what the program is. Don't just jump in and say, "Oh, this is great." You're absolutely right, Brendan. And to really understand what the program is, what they're trying to push. Sometimes they're trying to push a certain type of program that's available or get you in, but it may or may not help you. So good point.
Yeah. And the only other thing I want to say on that too is, if you're watching this video overseas, don't start searching this out and then trying to use it prior to coming to Canada, because these are for Canadians and permanent residents. Okay. So normally, right. So, you know, generally they cater to people like youth. There's youth employment programs, there's newcomer programs, et cetera, et cetera. But if you're looking for a job overseas, that's not it. Okay. That's for when you arrive. Hence today's topic. Okay. Last tip, Mark, and then we're going to wrap it up. Get a mentor.
So definitely helpful to have somebody who can help you out. And in our other video, we talked about people that have been here before from your country, and whether they landed 2 years ago, 5 years ago, or 25 years ago. Really get somebody who can be your champion, someone who's going to give you some encouragement, because you are going to go through ups and downs. You're going to have some good days, and you're going to have some not so great days. And you want to have somebody who can be that support mechanism for you. And whatever you want to call them, a mentor or a champion, a partner, a coach. These are people that you should lean on to help you out. And ideally, someone who is in the area of expertise that you're looking to get into, maybe the kind of job that you're looking to apply to, maybe somebody who's from your country back home who can understand what you've gone through, but somebody who, you know, knows the landscape, knows the Canadian landscape, and specifically from a job perspective. And I'm a jobs guy, so I'm really referring to the job side to coach you. Maybe it's a recruiter, maybe not. Maybe a recruiter might not lend you a helping hand, but right. Trying to get somebody to give you some advice, trying to give you some encouragement, really important.
Yeah. Everybody needs their Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? So
that's right.
Anyways, listen, let's wrap it up there. That was fantastic, Marc. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop something up on the screen here, guys. So mysecondpassport.ca is where you can find me, and TorontoJobs.ca is where you can find Marc. Marc, I just wrap up. If people want to reach out to you, I think that's probably the best place. But did you have any other things that you wanted to let people know about?
Yeah, well, I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. TorontoJobs.ca has a great YouTube channel where you can check out a bunch of videos on job search and interviewing and more. And I also wrote the book called Tales from the Recruiter. You can check it out at talesfromtherecruiter.ca. You can download it for free and read it for free online. So you can get lots of tips from there. And like I said, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn.
That's awesome. But don't just send him a message and ask him for a job. We want sincere connections here, right? Because Marc's actually a really nice guy. So, but I'm sure you've noticed that from this broadcast. Okay, guys, listen. I'm just going to wrap it up there. Again, Second Passport. I'm just going to give a bit of an overview real quick, or just sum it up. Part of the reason that we do these videos and we ask experts in different areas is so that, immigrating to Canada is complicated enough, but settling in is also complicated, and thriving here is also the key that we want out of life. So with that said, it all boils down to planning and actually being able to execute on that and having a settlement plan. So again, jobs are pretty key to that because it leads to a lot of other things that you're going to need. I'm really thankful that Marc did this today. Guys, if you want to reach out, feel free to give us a shout. And I hope everyone's doing well and staying safe. Thanks again. Take care, Marc. I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Brennan. Stay safe.